Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. I'm your host, Miss Camene, and this is Phone Call. I have my brother from another mother, Mike. What it do?
What up, YouTube? Y'all already know how it is on Phone Call. We talk about all the hot topics, and we usually focus on the differences between men and women and try to come to some kind of common conclusion. But today, when we talk about hot topics, did y'all see the Oscars the other night?
Did y'all?
It looked like Will took that Ali training to another level, man. He brought it to the real world.
Yeah.
So everybody by now, you already know what happened. You probably saw the video 1,000 times. So I'm gonna just get right into, where I'm coming from with it. What I observed. And before I even get into it, I gotta say Will Smith is one of the people I respect the most when it comes to Hollywood. And it has only started to teeter as of late when it comes to just the openness in his marriage with Jada. Quite honestly, I feel like a man on his level just really
he can have anybody. He could
have anybody, man.
He can have anybody.
Man. So it hurts to see a dude that's on that level. And I'm not even talking about just money wise, but he's famous for having really good character. For the people that don't know, when Will Smith first came out as the Fresh Prince and he was doing Parents Just Don't Understand and all of that, he made it a point to make albums without even using profanity. All right.
Yeah.
So this is the dude that came out as a good guy.
Right. So you would consider him a good guy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But I always told you, I feel like the good guy and the bad guy is the same guy.
Are the same person. And that's what I'm saying. And he showed himself last night.
Right. You know what? I don't think he showed himself as a bad guy. I think he showed himself as a guy who is dealing with a lot of insecurity. More specifically, insecurity tied directly to the approval of his wife.
Lot of his actions. I feel like a lot of stuff that he does is just literally him trying to prove to Jada over here, I love you.
Take a look at me. He personifies something that I talk about a lot when I talk about the grip women really have on the psyches of their men, because Will Smith he really has the potential to be living his best life. For his 50th birthday, my man went bungee jumping over the Grand Canyon from a helicopter. He's really living. So a man with the resources like his, with the outlook on the world that he has, he still can't be fully happy because his woman is not happy.
I know.
Part of his happiness is coming from his ability to solve her problems, and he can't.
I know. I feel like
it's like he's drowning.
I know. Looking at him at first, he was laughing. I was like, okay, it was funny. I'm sorry. What she was wearing, Jada, I love you, honey, but what you're wearing just gave that vibe. So Chris Rock being a comedian, it was hilarious. Even Will was like, until he looked over at her with the little, and she gave that side eye, you better, he better have my back. I was looking at the memes and they were talking about Tupac would have shot him. It's like, he always feels like he has to one up whoever it is to make her feel good, and I still don't feel like he did his job.
Actually, if anything, he probably backtracked a couple of steps,
right?
Because just think about the amount of whittling down and wearing down that man has been through in the last few years. He's already got to deal with the fact that she openly admits that she was in love with her best friend. Then he had to sit across the table from her with tears in his eyes and listen to her say that she slept with her son's best friend because it made her feel good, and she hadn't felt good in so long.
Right.
You know how hard it must be? Good. Yeah, not even to be Will Smith. You know how hard it is as a man to listen to your woman say, I went to a man half your age who is sick because he made me feel something that you have not been able to make me feel for a long time.
Right.
A wise man once told me that sometimes the best thing you can tell your woman is no. And I think in this situation,
who is this wise guy?
Yo, look, I'm telling you, I think the only way this man is going to really get respect from Jada, and I think that's what all of this was about. I think the only way he's going to get respect from Jada is if he just said, Jada, go be happy without me.
But I'm thinking but I don't even know if he has it in him to say. That's what I'm saying. There has to be some type of counseling or something. All I see, as big as he thought he looked, was just a total bitch move. That slap, he didn't even fall. So at first I was like, this has to be scripted. You didn't go over there being Will Smith that to little old Chris Rock and he's still standing. I think he didn't even put a foot down.
Yo, the minute I saw that shit, I was like, look, ain't no way I'm gonna walk on stage and slap little frail Chris Rock without him knowing it's coming, and I don't slap him to sleep. Like, there's no reason why he should have been on his feet still commentating. Well, this is the best night of TV in history. He should not have been able to formulate a sentence.
I don't even think. No, I think he did get him a little bit, because the after party is like, well, shit, I just got, he had to finish it. Then he was like, and even the joke that he followed it with for about the documentary, he couldn't even. No one laughed. We were all like, still trying to figure out, because they're both funny. I feel like sometimes they do get Chris Rock more than Will Smith. They go a little bit too far at moments, but no one even
with Chris being
Chris
a stand-up. Yeah, Chris Rock is a stand-up.
Yeah.
Will is a comedic actor, and it's a very different muscle. And honestly, for Will to be in a position where he's made as much money as he's made from making people laugh all these years, I'm surprised that he disrespected the craft of comedy on that level.
Yeah.
Like, okay, he's talking about my wife's, medical, it's alopecia.
Yeah.
All right. We acting like this is, testicular cancer or, something that's going to kill her or something like that. She ain't got a prognosis. She just lost her hair.
It's not going to kill her.
And let it be known.
Let's not make alopecia little, though, because it is a big deal.
I'm not making alopecia little, but I am making the fact that since 1995, Jada Pinkett been making short hair cool anyway. Half the women that's out here rocking a short little pixie cut wouldn't have did it if Jada ain't do it first. So it ain't like she ain't heard somebody talk about short hair before.
Right.
And at the end of the day, Jada Pinkett could say something that no woman in the world could say. Something that
Will Smith?
No matter what the insult is, I'm ugly. Yeah, well, my husband is Will Smith.
Okay. They ask about me.
One of the richest, most successful dudes in the country. Okay. Right. Oh, word, I'm short. You know who tall? My husband and his bank account.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I wish that
I just feel like it should have rolled off.
Sorry. Yeah, I feel like I wish that Jada was like, grabbed him when he was walking up, like, hey, it's not that serious, like just a minute. Or he used being Will Smith on a different platform, accept my award. And at that moment be like, you know what, Chris Rock, just to let you know, my wife does have this. Because I felt like his reaction just told me that it was so much deeper than just what we seen. Like, she must be really suffering for her behind the scene, to where he was like, oh, hell no, I don't want to me, that's the vibe that I got, because all of a sudden he was laughing, it was funny, and then it was just like, oh, she's hurting.
The vibe that I got was he has to deal with the fact that another man smashed his wife and wrote a song about it. He couldn't say nothing about it. Tupac is gone now, so he can't do nothing about Pop. Chris Rock is small and defenseless enough for him to take out all that frustration on Chris. That's what I see it as. And honestly, you bring up a good point. You wish Jada would have grabbed his hand. I think there's something to be said about the level of manipulation that Jada has on him. Like, she is a master.
Yeah.
Even if she's not a master manipulator, she is definitely a master at manipulating Will.
Yeah.
Because I think any woman in the room, if she knew that her man was in this room to get the most esteemed award for his best work, he's been in the acting game for 25 years. Right. Okay. More than that. He's finally getting the Oscar. It should have been about him. The minute he looked at her and saw that she was unhappy and whatever words were exchanged, the second he got up to go to that stage, she should have grabbed him and been like, baby, it's all right.
She should have grabbed him and said, babe, it's going to be okay.
Standing up should have been enough.
Right. Or if she wanted to bark out something and just, that's not right or whatever. It's just like, I don't feel like. But
knowing that he was down wasn't enough for her. She had to see him go all the way. And so now this dude's reputation, sponsorships, whatever, like, we live in the age of cancel culture and stuff like that. I don't think Chris Rock would go as far as pressing charges or nothing like that. But at the end of the day, he committed a crime in front of millions of people over a woman, whether he's still choosing her or not. Like, I've heard a lot of people say, well, that's his wife. That's his wife. At the end of the day, you defend the honor of your woman when she's actually an honorable woman, and she's done nothing but drag that dude for years, man.
Yeah. What do you feel about, because I just seen that he had that apology about violence is unacceptable. Do you feel like it was something that somebody scripted for him to write, or do you really feel like?
Oh yeah, his publicist did a great job with that post, and I think it's great that Will is going to get credit for that apology. I mean, at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying. We could talk about Will all day long, but we have to understand that he is human, and Jada is also human, but I think Jada has a lot on that dude, and she knows it. And we got to remember, like, they were together young
Yeah.
back when her career was bigger than
Right.
his
When
when they
she was
first
big.
met.
Right. Yep.
Right.
That's what I was going to
And
say. Absolutely.
I think he's been like locked inside the bubble of marriage for so long that a part of him doesn't realize he's Will Smith. Like
I know. Yeah.
he can do better. Your kids are big enough. Like what, like we talk about all the things that's important for kids to learn from their dads. I
Mhm.
think another thing to learn from your dad is a backbone, and you know,
It just
I
seems
don't know.
like I just really wish, I feel like their relationship is probably going to stay the way it is until Jada is the one that where she says it's enough. Because Will already said he's like, love and make you do some crazy. He's willing to risk it all.
Mhm.
Will risk whatever he's worked so hard for because he loves this woman. But I'm looking at her a little bit. Jada, I love you, but like when is it going to be enough for you? Like you already, don't you think you've done
Exactly.
enough to him? Just let him go, honey. There'll be plenty of people that will take Will up in a second. He is
And I
not.
bet you, and I bet you he went home and still went to sleep with dry dick. After
But
listen, man,
it still wasn't enough. She was like, well,
for
what else
real.
could you do for me? Like, I don't
At
know.
the hey, look, he went on stage to accept an award for playing a truly iconic, I would say like the new age Papa Joe Jackson, right?
Yeah.
Like whoop your kids into some real success,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
seeing what they are before they are. Like that's a legendary type of
Mm-hmm.
personality.
Right.
He's going to accept an award for portraying that guy so well, and he had to start his acceptance speech with an apology. If listen, man, if she ain't sucked his deep from the back last night, he needs to go ahead and let that go for real.
What about his speech? I was just looking. It wasn't. I just feel like, was he really acting? It's just so
I feel like
hard
he
when
was.
no, I didn't. Yeah, and then I really just, it's like, what is going on? And then he threw Denzel. Denzel looking like, hey, yo, please do not mention
Yeah,
my name. Hey, we did that on the
yeah.
private. Like, please let me be Denzel. Yeah,
Yo,
it
you
was.
and look, and that's something that we forget too, because a lot of people like they forgot real quick because of his speech. But remember, he gets paid millions and millions and millions of dollars for his ability to turn it on,
Yeah,
right? There, I mean, we can call it what we want, but actors are just really
yeah.
good, very highly appreciated liars. Okay,
Right. So do you feel
so
like it was staged though? Like how they were saying it's staged. You do?
no, I don't feel like the slap was staged. I feel like all of that was real, and I feel like it was something that was coming for a long time.
Yeah.
Um, you know, like I said, Will is high value in a lot of ways, but low quality as
Yeah.
far as the level of BS that he's willing to take
Right.
with the level that he's on. Like
Right.
because his kids are too big to say we're staying together for the kids.
Yeah.
Um, and she's got her money, he's got his money. They got so much money to where splitting it 50-50 wouldn't even matter. All
Right.
right. He'd still be one of the richest people in the damn country.
Right.
So I just I don't understand how a man like him could sit across the table from her, like I said, tears in his eyes, turned into a meme, and listen to her go into detail about a sexual affair that she had with her kid's best friend.
Right.
And then at the same
Exactly.
time, expect him to defend her honor on that level. Like he can't even
Right.
have his own night because it's got to be about her.
I just the way everything seems so insecure to me. Even the after the slap, the way he walked back to his seat, it was like a good kid that you see that's in school. Like, yeah, go soccer. I don't like her. But the
Yeah.
person over there is scared. You just go do it. It's like, what did I do? He just seemed like I shouldn't have done this, but I did it. What have I done? I'm kind of crying and what the heck? It
Mm-hmm.
just felt uncomfortable. That's why I was like, let
He
this
was
be
being
fake,
something he
please.
wasn't. He was
Let me
being
be
something he
fake.
wasn't. We all know the whole West Philadelphia born and raised story, but Will ain't
Yeah.
that guy. You ever heard that
Yeah.
before? He ain't that guy,
Oh,
right?
West Philadelphia.
Will ain't that guy. And so
Yes.
he can go up there and slap Chris Rock, but Chris Rock is hardly the guy to make your name as a tough guy with, right?
Right.
Because we
Exactly.
got to ask ourselves, if that was Dave Chappelle up there telling that
Mike
same joke,
Tyson.
if Mike Tyson was up there telling that same Javante Davis, if one of them dudes made a G.I. Jane joke about Jada, he would have been laughing. And if she made an upset face, he would have been, baby, you better laugh at that funny ass joke. All right.
He's like, that's on you.
Don't
I'm
get me
not.
fucked up tonight. don't have me get beat up in the alley. He would have made her laugh,
Exact. Yeah.
right?
Right.
And at the end of the day, the fact that he's in the comedic world, even though he's not a
Mhm.
stand-up, he's in the comedic world. He
Mhm.
should have been able to look at her and say, "Yo, take this shit with a grain of salt." If you go to a comedy show like Chris Rock, yeah, he's hosting the Oscars, but essentially that's a stand-up set for him.
Mhm.
He's just making people laugh in between awards. So
Right.
if you're sitting in the front row you know you are subject to be made fun of.
Just like going to any comedy show, you want to make sure you coming in late or in the back. You in that front table with your man looking crazy. Oh, they are coming for you. Yes.
I'm gonna go ahead and date myself real quick. I remember back in the day, me and my mother went to Def Comedy Jam together one time. We went to Def Jam.
Yeah.
And she wore a white outfit, like head to toe, and I wore a brown. Remember that the patchwork sweaters where you like suede and leather? And,
yes.
You know, I had one of them on, and I had to sit in the front row and watch this comedian bag on my mother, calling her. He said that she's like a gallon of milk.
I can't.
Right. And he said, "What am I the chocolate stick that goes in it?" Right, because I was sitting with the brown. And all I could do was laugh because I know if I act mad, if I look mad, all he's gonna do is dig in deeper. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, you know, and even I spent my time on stage as a stand-up. And I'm telling you, man, if you come to my show, don't get mad when I talk about you, because that's what it's all about.
Exactly. But you know what made me uncomfortable is that I was just sitting there after he got slapped, even though it was a little bitch slap. Like, no one's checking on Chris Rock. He just like, it's still about Will and Jada. They done took the next award that was given. They took the whole vibe away. It was like, man, do this at home. I don't.
Yeah. And you know what, when we talk about whether this is fake or not, there is one little detail about this that does make it feel a little staged. And it's the fact that Will and Jada just happen to be sitting front row, closest to the stage than anybody. No security intervention. The cameras stayed rolling. Yeah. Right. Like in the past, there's been commercials, you know, bloopers and faux pas on award shows, and they'll usually cut right to a commercial or cut, you know, they'll make sure nobody sees it.
Right.
They kept the camera on Chris while he gathered the words. And man, I just got slapped. I got the shit slapped out of me by Will Smith. And this is the greatest night of TV ever. Like, it was a little bit too much camera time. The mics are still on. Security never carried Will out or broke the fight up.
Lupita's face, though, made me feel like it was real. Because the way I looked at her, she was like, what in the, I don't know.
Well, just because Chris and Will know don't mean everybody would know.
Oh.
I thought Lupita did a good job, considering if I was sitting directly behind Will Smith and he's like, keep my wife's name, I'd have been like, oh shit. Like, my face would have been.
She was like,
my face would have been turned up.
Dude, yes. Okay, so I feel that I've got half and half, because people call me like, girl, what you think? And what do you think? And then I'm like, I still think it was real. How much, okay, so he already knows about the profanity that they don't like there. So for him to say it twice, that's why I was like, ooh, the first time I was like, ooh, he might have slipped. That would be funny, but keep my name. It just felt like, I was like, is this a movie?
I saw a video on Instagram. This nigga was, he was reenacting it. Oh, you know what? It was Tay Diggs.
Tay Diggs. I seen that
keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth. I said, keep my I said.
I know the memes have me dead to the world, but overall, I just feel like Will really showed his insecurities. If people didn't know that about him, he really just showed that I'm weak right now. Like, he's looking for that love. He even had an interview talking about unconditional love is just like the best thing ever. And this is what I'm going to live for. And I get that. I agree with that. But I just feel like Jada's not the one for him. She has showed that maybe, it's time to let it, just because you're with somebody young doesn't mean that this is your happily ever after.
Yeah, I think my final point is very similar to yours. I think Will Smith has been spending all of his adult life trying to get 100% of his wife, and it hasn't happened.
Yep.
And he's abandoning every traditional masculine thing that a man can do to get respect from his wife. I don't know if you saw his little, I don't want to call it a documentary, but he was describing a lot of what was going on in their marriage. And he was like, yeah, you know, back when I was at the top of my game and Men in Black came out, she was the unhappiest she ever was. And I bought this big house for us. And
I didn't see that.
She still couldn't enjoy it. And she said that she cried for 45 days straight. And he was like, yeah, you know, I had to accept the fact that I wasn't doing all of this for her. I was doing it for me. And I'm like, yo, stop that crap. Mm-hmm. He's over there trying so hard to be on her side that now he's trying to discount the fact that, yes, real men get pleasure out of being able to provide for their families. You're supposed to get something out of it. You can't make her happy though. So if she can't find a way to be happy, he has to relinquish the responsibility of saying he has to make her happy, especially since he went online and told the world that you are supposed to bring your happiness and your partner is supposed to bring their happiness and you're supposed to share your happiness. you can't make somebody happy. We all know that, and we know that he knows that, but yet and still, he put it all on the line for millions of people to see. And of
still
all
just for
people,
her.
Chris Rock, who is another very influential man in our culture.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So
and at the end of the day, Chris should have hit him back.
Right. Or he should have said something after that, like, man, like, he is not a threat. Everybody, please have him
hell yeah. Right? Look, because what he was saying, what Will was like, they're probably not going to invite me back. Chris should have grabbed the mic and been like, hey, listen, to the Academy, please invite Will Smith back next year and every year after, because we know for a fact he ain't dangerous at all.
Right.
Everybody's safe when Will is in the room.
Yeah, not that bitch.
That slap ain't do nothing.
I'm telling you. So let me ask you a question. Do you think that, so which way would you have handled that situation, you being Will?
If I was Will, like I said, I love comedy and I respect comedy. And if I'm going to be there with my wife and she can't take the joke, I'm going to lean over and quietly in her ear without blowing the spot up. Baby, it's just a joke. We can handle it later. We could go talk to him, but don't take it to heart.
Right.
I think you're fine. I like you, boy. Like, I gas her up a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's how I would handle it.
I wonder what made him have that much fear. Like, what is really going on in their relationship to where he's like, like, yeah, man, that was put, and then he just look over, and then what force, like, what is really going on behind the scenes that you were just.
Well, I don't think it was anything going on behind the scenes. Just in the moment, he was thinking exactly what everybody else was thinking. It's just a joke. Then when he looked over and saw that she wasn't happy, and like I said, they cut camera, and I would bet money that she said something to him.
Yeah.
Because I heard people say, yeah, they got history of Chris Rock saying something about Jada in the past.
Right. In 2018.
But I don't think that has anything to do with anything. I don't think that has anything to do with anything.
Me neither. He just said something like she wasn't at an award show, or you should talk to your ex-wife, or something like it was nothing. It was just Chris Rock. If you know Chris Rock, it seems like something Chris Rock would say.
And let's keep it funky here. That was very mild with Chris Rock. Chris Rock told a joke one time where he was like, I was going into a building one time. When I stepped on the elevator, 4 teenage white boys jumped on, and I just dove off. Like, y'all ain't killing me. Right? And this is back when the trench coat mafia and the school bombings was going on, right? So we know Chris could go dirty.
Yeah.
It was a love tap. And I think Will had the responsibility in that moment to say, fix your face, it's just a joke. And make her be on board. Right. And let's be real. He could have used the exact same words that he used with Chris in front of the world. He could have did it backstage or at another event when he saw him. I'm sure they got each other phone numbers.
Right.
Hey, Chris, look, man, my wife ain't like what you said out there. And if she ain't happy, I ain't happy.
Right.
So keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
Right.
And this is your only warning. He could have said the exact same words, but been on some real G shit. Because if he was really about that life, he would have did everything he did. And instead of apologizing on his acceptance speech, he would have said everything he said about King Richard. And at the end said, and if y'all don't invite me back, I don't give a fuck, because I ain't about to have nobody talking shit about my wife.
Yeah.
If he was really about it, he would have leaned into it. That apology takes away everything that he did.
That's what I'm saying. That's where the insecurity, you sit up there looking weak. And then the slap that you had, like, he didn't even stagger. Like, what are you doing? It just seemed everything was so uncomfortable that I started to believe maybe this is staged. Ain't nobody really, a real person about to come up there and you that kind of keep running, all that. I'm about to knock you out. You are going night. I'm putting you to sleep. It's going down.
Yeah,
so
very cringy. He might have looked like he was bodied for a split second, but then again, it's Chris Rock, and we know Chris Rock ain't busting a grape in a fruit fight. So you ain't getting much clout. You know what I'm saying? You ain't getting much clout slapping Chris, especially if you couldn't knock him out with a blind slap. But then to right after that, apologize to the Academy and apologize to the team and all of this shit. Violence don't look, man. If it was really about you defending the honor of your wife and you was really about that life, I feel like he would have leaned into it and been like, don't invite me back. I don't give a shit. Yeah. But this is gonna be the last time somebody say something about my wife or me.
Yeah. If he was really but that's not.
If he was really about it. If he was really about it, right?
Yeah.
But he know he wasn't dealing with no street nigga.
Yeah.
Right. He's scared to even let Jada shake 50 Cent hand on the way out the door because he's scared 50 might take her.
Yeah.
If 50 would have made the same joke, baby, did you hear that? It wouldn't have been no words to say.
Yeah. He would have been like
with a real nigga.
Right.
Yeah. So
yeah,
I don't buy it. I feel like if there was any acting, he was faking tough. and then he was faking sincere when he was doing his apology.
Right.
And all of it comes down to he is struggling desperately to try to get acceptance and approval and
Right.
validation
And what
from
made me
his wife,
feel
and
what
she
made
ain't
me
giving
feel
it to
even
him.
cringy is that that Chris Rock wanted to apologize. Like, I don't feel like I don't feel like he should apologize. I feel like it was just one of his jokes. Maybe you're not knowing about the alopecia, because to me, I feel like I do know
Yeah,
people
no.
that suffer from that, and it is tragic, especially to our beautiful hair that we cherish and everything else.
My
I do.
my ex stepdaughter deals with alopecia.
Yeah,
I know. Okay.
it's a very so I feel like
I know
that's
it's
what I would
emotional.
apologize for. That's pretty much it. That's
Do
pretty
you
much it.
really? But do you really think Chris would make a joke like that if he knew it was
No,
alopecia though? No,
no, she
not
was
Chris
looking
Rock.
like G.I. Jane. That's what it was.
She was
Chris,
looking like she'd been looking as long as I can remember.
she was
She'd
looking
been
like
looking
G.I.
like that for
Jane.
a long time.
Just the outfit, the whole neck thing, the whole everywhere
That
that
the
she
hat,
was.
the marine collar.
I
Yeah, like
cannot
it
do.
was some G.I.
It
Jane
was
type stuff.
funny.
You know what I'm
I've
saying?
wore funny shit before. That's what I'm saying. I think it just went too deep. It was a joke. So like people
Yeah.
are taking it like, no, he needs to defend women, and I'm proud that he did that. Like,
Hey,
I
look,
mean,
what about all the toxic women in the comment section? That's like, yeah, if you ain't willing to go up on stage and ruin your whole night and potentially go to prison to fight a nigga for calling me a name, then I don't even want you.
now the
Ladies.
bars have been raised. You got
Yeah,
to reach
exactly.
that level.
Look, but before this get out of hand, ladies, let me go ahead and let you know. If you really looking for a man that's gonna be with you forever, you might want to deal with a dude that has some type of temper control and
Yeah.
won't potentially put himself in prison and leave you alone
Right.
with your kids because somebody called you a name. There's a way
Right.
to handle stuff like that. We tell our kids all the time, sticks and stones, nigga.
Right.
Right?
I
You're
think
like,
that
you can't give all that wisdom that will be given
right.
and
I
get mad
think
because
that
of a name.
Jada seen him as weak in the beginning of their relationship. She probably still cared about him and loved him, but she's been stretching shit out. So now they've come to this point where it's all stretched out. He's so insecure. Like reversed, it's usually the woman, but
Yeah.
it's Will. And then Will is still Will. So it's like it makes it so uncomfortable to watch. Because to me, I feel like Will is that nice guy. It's the nice guys finish last with that. And it's just like he just stumbled upon somebody that is like just
But
not
you know
on
what
his
though,
level.
like I've said on previous shows, there's a big difference between the man who a woman marries
Yeah.
and the man who she wants to smash.
Yeah.
And very seldom is the man who she wants to marry sexually getting her.
Yeah.
Very seldom is her husband doing that. It's the man on the side, the man that she just want to smash. She can't even imagine having kids with him or having his
or
last
settling
name.
down. It's like
she can't even imagine.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I think it's pretty clear that Jada don't want Will. He's not ruining none of her panties. You know what I'm saying? And he wants
but
that.
when is she just gonna tell him that? That's what I'm saying. The poor guy, I don't think he'll ever, it's not gonna be ended. If the relationship ends, it's not gonna be Will. Will is willing. You seen he was willing to risk it all, honey. Jail time, taking my Oscar away.
Yeah.
Like, so I don't
You
feel
know
like
what?
there's no limits.
I'm fortunate enough to be around some very high level men. And I'm gonna tell you right now, even if Jada told him in plain English, I like being married to you because you are very safe and you're respectful and you're all of these things. You're a good father to the kids, but you just don't scratch that itch. Even if she told him that,
you think he'll still be there?
He's the kind of man that feels like I'm Will Smith. I can make millions and millions of dollars. I can start businesses. I can inspire people all over the world. I can fix this problem. Will would stay and torture himself trying to be a guy with a perfect, unblemished record.
Well, that's what he's
that
doing.
mentality does exist. Yeah. Yeah.
That's what
like
he's
Will,
doing.
because we gotta admit, Will made the biggest, and I'm gonna say comeback, not like he really fell off like that, but as far as being popular with young people, like he transcended his generation, and now young people know who he is through social media, Twitter, YouTube, all his cool videos on TikTok and stuff like that. He transcended to a whole other generation.
Yeah.
And he's about to lose that visibility over his quest to get the acceptance.
And I've seen the kids are up there saying their little comments too, like this is how we roll. Like, what are you teaching him? That is not like sticking with somebody who truly don't love you like they should. And this is how we're gonna stick together till we die. Like, no, I'm good on you.
You heard him on the Red Table Talk.
Honey,
he was like, we ride together, we die together. I'm like, this ain't no movie, nigga. You gotta get rid of her.
And even the red table talk, it's like, how did you even, why would I even be bringing my man here to tell him another guy penetrated me in a way you will never do? Like that whole thing. And I'm still like,
you know what? It's so funny you say that, because when that was happening, I felt like that was one of those things where if they didn't talk about it, it would have just disappeared.
yeah.
Because remember, by the time they did the red table talk, it was already like over a year, maybe
it was
more
already
than
a
that,
year. Yeah. Yeah.
since it had happened.
Right.
They didn't have to do that red table
Right.
talk.
I
But
think
she
Jada
used the
was,
platform
yeah, she wanted to, yeah.
to have Will, like in the middle of great movies, crying because his wife went to sleep with her son's friend.
Yeah.
And
It's
now
just,
he's more of a man because he's staying. Come on,
right.
man.
It's just a time or place. Like this wasn't the place. Definitely not. I know, and everybody's saying, well, they gave the ratings, it's more ratings, it was all dead. And I mean, I don't know. So then it doesn't feel scripted when I've worked so hard at this and I'm right there and I get the award, but I just showed my ass.
Yeah. You know what? I mean, honestly, the ratings thing is true, because if Will didn't slap Chris, I wouldn't even have known the Oscars happened. I'm gonna be real. I would have saw a headline a couple of weeks from now, and they would have talked about some actress that got it. I'm like, oh shit, I don't even know who that actress is.
Yeah.
So it did get me to pay attention to it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I do think it was real. I think this is something that's been kind of building up in Will's mind for a long time now. He's kind of like, if you ever watch a doggy paddling for too long, and you know the face is starting to dip under the water. I think Will is starting to drown under the pressure of being that guy to his wife. And Jada makes it really clear that he's not. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not that for her. And if she wants something else, something lower class, whatever, then take that, man. I've been in a couple of situations in my life where I was in a relationship with a woman and she wanted to be somewhere else. And that somewhere else was a guy that was way below where I was. And, you know, when you're a good guy, or a good person, we'll say just a good person in general, when you have a partner that wants to skedaddle like that, we feel like we want to save them. Like, all right, now, if I leave, I ain't coming back. All right, now, once I block you, I ain't gonna unblock you. Sometimes you just gotta let them make that mistake. Just let them go.
I feel the same way.
You ain't gonna find nobody like me. Let them learn that shit the hard way. Go ahead and spend the next 15 years trying to chase what I gave you.
Exactly. And that's how I feel like some people need to learn that way. I don't have that problem with them relationships, but friendships, oh no, I don't. And it's so funny when you feel like you were so comfortable and you needed that. It's like, I don't even need that. Like, I'm good over here. Like, I'm unbothered. And it's not just for saying unbothered with the hashtag. It's truly unbothered. If unbothered was a person, that's me. Don't care.
And you know, even if you are bothered, like, you got to kind of cut your heart off and turn your brain on and just say, what is actually best for me? Right. You know, in this stage in life, I can either stay in this situation that is hurting me. My feelings are hurt on a regular basis. My insecurity levels at an all-time high, and my partner does not care to do anything about it. I need to leave. Like, think about in the beginning when the whole thing with Tupac, right? Will Smith went on Breakfast Club, and Charlamagne asked him if he was intimidated by Tupac, and Will was like, hell yeah. I was intimidated by Pac, not because he was Tupac and because he was tough, but because he had a piece of my wife that I don't have. And any man would be threatened by that, right? He admitted that. He was very vulnerable about that. Now, Jada, I'm sure she heard that interview, and I'm sure if he was brave enough to say it in front of the world on the radio, he said it to her in private plenty of times over the years. Who is the responsibility on to fix that problem? Is it up to Will to just learn to accept the fact that Tupac is probably in love with his woman and that she was in love with him? Or is it up to Jada to say, hey, Pac, I love you like a brother, if they're actually just friends? I love you like a brother, and I'm married, and I need you to respect me and my marriage.
100% up to Jada. Because we can see, Will is, it definitely can't be up to Will.
And ever since then, Will has been dealing with the fact that she chose Pac over him.
Yeah. And that,
she chose Pac over him.
Right. And I'm sure
she read a letter online. She read a letter that he wrote to her one time.
Oh yeah, I seen that at the Tupac exhibit when I went. Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah. Crazy.
How cringe is that?
Yeah.
How cringe is that? You gonna read that letter? Knowing that your man, like, fuck your friendship with him. Like, if you don't want to be if you don't want to do the things that it takes to be in a respectable relationship, then get out of the relationship. Part of being in a relationship means understanding that your partner's security is not only up to them. You have something to do with that.
Right.
Their peace of mind when it comes to the security of the relationship is partly your responsibility. So you need to do whatever you got to do on a regular basis to make them understand without a doubt, yo, I am here for you. I'm yours.
Yeah, but I feel like narcissists, narcissists.
Yo, any other time I hear narcissist, I say stop using that word because women like to say that shit every time they break up. He was a narcissist. He was controlling. He was toxic.
Listen.
These are the three favorite words.
Talking about
this time, Jada is on some narcissism right now because she clearly does not care about how Will feels. She gives him just enough to keep him around.
That's how they do. Just enough to be like, oh, I'm, and then make you feel like it's you. So it's like, well, maybe I'm not Will Smith. Like you, Will Smith. Right. You are Will Smith.
Said it. Will said it. He was like, man, maybe I wasn't really doing this because I wanted to take care of my family. Maybe I just got this big house and make all this money because I just want to be a winner in life. Well, nigga, why can't both be right? Why can't you want to be a winner and you wanted to do something?
Correct. Yes. Why?
Because he was buying into her narcissistic agenda.
I know.
At the end of the day, Will needs some homies like me. Hey, Will, if you look for somebody to hang out, bro. I live in Marietta, California. I ain't too far, bro. You need somebody like me to come out and take you to a bill and give you the real. Because, like, honestly, I think when you listen to your real close friends in situations like this, they can also steer you wrong by telling you, "Oh man, that's your wife, man. You could take it, just stick in there."
Yeah.
And they really should be saying, "Yo, you're Will motherfucking Smith."
Right. Yeah. Your friends. Yeah. You can't always lean on their decision. It'll be the friends too that's single that be trying to give you advice. Like, sir, excuse me. Yeah.
Facts. Not married. Can't keep a man to save their life. Can't keep a woman to save their life. And they want to give you advice. Hey, look, man.
Yeah.
I was talking earlier. I was like, look, man, Will Smith at any moment could have stood up and went to another married couple in that room and said, yo, man, let me borrow your wife for the night. And no matter what the husband would have said, that wife would have got up and went with Will. And he could have went across the room with her holding hands and grabbed somebody else's wife like, yo, man, I'm gonna just borrow her for the night. I'll send her back tomorrow morning with a couple of dollars. And the husbands would have had to just let it go. They might have fought.
They would have had to let it go.
Cried.
Nobody about to let their whole wife do that boy by.
Man,
no.
Look, they'll have something to say to Will, but I bet their wife wouldn't just say no. Not in most cases. There's some wives that's down to stay with their husband, but a lot of wives would be like, that's Will motherfucking Smith.
Yeah.
Baby, I'm doing this for us.
Yeah.
Right?
I can't with you.
You feel me?
I just want Will to get the help that he needs. I want Jada to finally just admit her wrongs and take part in this. Like, this is really, a lot of it's from you. Most of it's from you. You have to take ownership. But until she does, Will's just going to figure out a way to make her try to love him the way he wants. Like at the end of the day, I'm hoping that Will is sitting back, looking at all the conversation and hearing all of this and saying, man, what have I allowed her to do to me after all this time? Right. Or she gonna look back and be like, what have I done to him? What have I created? What have I created? Yeah. What have I created? Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. I think that's a good place to stop. Jada, what have you done to him? And Will, what have you allowed her to do to you, my man? Yeah. What's up? This is the Wild Wild West. All right. It was a whole Phillies Oscar last night. We were in Philly, West Philly. And look, and just to show how influential Will Smith is to the culture. I don't know if anybody's watching that new Bel Air show, but I'm hooked on it. I love it. Too. The dramatic take on a comedic show is dope. Yeah. But the reason why that show is so amazing to watch is because the boy that's playing Will, I'm so sorry I don't remember his name, but he is so much like what Will was back then. That we love back in the Yeah. And when we saw Will back then, especially after the whole "Why Don't He Love Me" when his dad left scene, we all knew Will was gonna be a star. And we saw the most for him. Right. The new kid makes me feel that. Yeah. Okay. But we look at Will today and it's like, damn, he ain't the nigga I thought he was gonna turn out to be. Yeah. If I'm being honest. He's gonna get help. He's gonna get the help that he needs. Will's gonna come back and we got to pray for that whole situation. And somebody check on Chris Rock and make sure, he ain't got no marks.
Yo, Chris went on Twitter just a little while ago and said, "Everybody, I'm fine. My gums absorbed the slap." So Chris Rock is doing well. He's in good spirits. And for any other comedians that's thinking about telling a joke about Jada Pinkett, just make sure you wear your mouthpiece that night. This is Phone Call.
Yes, that was fun.
I'm Mike Diamond.
And I'm Camene, Miss Camene.
We trying to get these subscribers up. We have a goal of 500 subscribers by August.
Yes.
It's a big goal. We know we can get it with your support and your love. Make sure you comment, subscribe, and like this video. And that way you can know the next time we do another video. We got more coming. Please. So hit that notification bell. Show love to us because I got kids in the bedroom. That fire costs money. That's gas.
Right. And let us know what you think about Will and Jada. Like, what are you thinking? Do you think that Will was doing the right thing, or do you think it was staged? What are y'all thinking about it? Because I've heard a lot of stuff, but I'm curious to see what you guys think about it. So
I am too.
You know what I mean? Like, we want to know. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good night. That was fun. Talk to you soon.
Have a good night, y'all.